morning and welcome to the Merridale Daily, the best podcast in the UK.
Unfortunately today, we have some rather upsetting news. There has been a terrible accident at the mine in Albury.
We have reporters at the scene ready to tell you all about it.
Let's head over to Sana, Suki and Adil.
Today there has been a disastrous mine accident in Brown Green New Colliery.
Current estimates are that 50 men are being killed and 4 have just been removed from the mine with serious injuries. Many people in this small village have lost their loved ones and are having to face heartbreaking situations.
Eyewitnesses are reporting that the miners started work at about 5:30 this morning and everything was normal. It is not yet known whether the safety lamp was used before they began work. However, about an hour and a half later, there was an unexpected explosion deep within the pit. In front of us, people are wailing whilst waiting desperately for news of whether their loved ones have survived this tragedy.
Investigations are currently underway down the pit and in the mine office to try and determine what has caused this devastating explosion. Relatives want to know who is to blame, but as yet this cannot be established.
We'll keep you updated as this terrible story develops.
What a detailed update on the situation. Thank you.
Next here at Merridale Daily, we have an exclusive eyewitness account from John Shakespeare, who was actually in the mine this morning.
It all began like any ordinary day.
You want to know how it would turn out?
I overslept and dressed quickly before rushing frantically to the pit. If we are late, our wages are docked and life is hard enough as it is.
I reckon that your lateness may have saved you today.
Just after 6, I arrived at the pit and went down in a skip. I began to work the coal near the shaft. Like always, it was exhausting work, but this morning a strange sense of fear and dread filled the air. I tried to put it out of my head.
There's a strange smell down the mine too. We were all concerned.
At about 6:45, the doggy rushed past me with a safety lamp in his hand. Breathlessly, he warned me not to go further down the mine. I remained where I was. Not long after, I started to hear strange crackles from deeper within the pit. Before I had a chance to go and investigate, an explosion ripped through the mine and fire like a wild beast lashed out of the furnace of death below.
We could hear the blast up the surface. Immediately we knew that it would have a tragic consequences.
Immediately, voices began to scream desperately for help, their voices echoing along the deep tunnels. I couldn't reach them as the fire was already raging slowly. Their cries grew fainter.
Don't worry, John. It's not your fault. No one could have helped them.
I dashed up to the shaft and tried to get help, but the chain and skip had already been destroyed by the explosion. Now I know that the doggy's warning probably saved my life, as all of the men at the coal face, my colleagues and my friends, perished.
Thank you for that. We appreciate that. It must have been very hard for you to relieve this morning's event. You have been incredibly lucky and we are very sorry for your community.
Now we go to an interview with John Holland, whose father, Job Holland, was the butty of the unfortunate mine and perished in the explosion.
Why weren't you working at the site of the explosion?
Normally I would have been, however, today I was laying out new rails at just before 7. My beloved father told me not to go to a certain part of the mine because there was lots of sulfur. It was a good job I didn't go into the area of the explosion.
What do you think happened?
I think it was because some coal fell and the sulfur touched a safety lamp. The explosion could have made a bigger explosion because it caught other bits of sulfur and ignited them.
Some witnesses are saying that your father, Joe Holland, was to blame for this terrible disaster. What do you think?
I think it was the doggy's fault because he did not do his job. It was not my father's fault.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Holland.
My thoughts are with the loved ones of all of the victims. This is a terrible day for our community.
back to you in the studio.
Thank you, John Holland, for your honest speech. Now, we tune into a letter from a lady widowed by the explosion.
William Price was one of the men killed in the explosion. He was 35 years old and married with 2 young children. His brave widow, Angelica, is going to share a letter she has written to her sister.
My dearest Victoria, I am writing to tell you some tragic news. Unfortunately, my beloved husband has been killed by an explosion. This morning, my life was absolutely normal, but by 7:30 a.m., my world had been shattered. An explosion happened, and due to that, William, the love of my life, died. He used to say to me it was not a safe place to work, and he has been worried about the ventilation for months, but he had no choice but to work there. Why did he have to go so soon? Why didn't someone prevent this from happening? I am really worried about Jacob and Isaac. How are they going to cope? I have no idea how we will afford to eat or run a home. I am heartbroken and cannot deal with this alone. He was the only person for me. I wish he were here with me so that I can tell him how much I love him. I just want him to come back. Your loving sister, Angelica.
Dear Angelica, I am so sorry to hear of William's death. It has come as a huge shock to us all, and I will help in any way possible. Why don't you come and visit us for a few days? It will help you with the grieving process and do the boys good too. Joshua and Edward will keep them occupied. Maybe when you return you could get a job at the big house. They are always requiring help or looking for people to collect and complete laundry. Please write back to me so that I know you are okay. I am so worried about you. Please accept all of our condolences and love at this painful time. Yours, Victoria.
We are sorry for your loss. That was a moving letter.
Our reporters Sandra and Kira now having an interview with Thomas Haynes, who has been the mine surveyor for 6 years.
Today we are with Thomas Haynes to do an interview.
Everyone said ventilation was inadequate. What do you think about this?
I think the ventilation was perfectly adequate. Over the past year, we have spent £300. The quality is flawless, as it should be.
But if it was flawless, why did the gas build up?
Because there was sulphur in the mine.
But wouldn't the ventilation clear it up?
We are trying to look further into this because it should have worked.
That's not good enough. Stop making excuses and tell us the truth. Stop this nonsense.
I'm really sorry, but I do not have an answer.
That's not good enough. Innocent people of our village have died. Why has this happened?
I'm very sorry. The ventilation should have cleaned it up.
You keep repeating what you said. Get to grips and tell us the truth. Innocent people have died. People's hearts are broken.
I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore.
What a suspicious interview, Mr. Haynes. We have just been informed that the mine owner, Mr. Parker, is about to make an announcement, so we will head over live to the scene.
I am deeply saddened by this great tragedy, and I hope the men we have lost rest in peace.
Rubbish, my brother died because of you.
All right, that's enough now.
I know you have lost your loved ones, and I feel your pain and your sorrows. I appreciate all the work they have done for me, and they will be remembered with great honour as loyal employees.
My father died, and it's all your fault.
Safety has always been my highest priority, and ventilation has improved within the last year.
You complete liar!
It meets and exceeds all current safety regulations. I always make sure that my miners work in the safest and best conditions possible.
That's rubbish!
I will offer any assistance I can to those injured or their families.
Liar!
Of those who have lost their loved ones.
Complete liar!
Thank you.
Another suspicious statement. Who is to blame? Surely these heartbroken families deserve some answers.
Let's head over to the Mining Accident Commission and hear from the experts themselves.
Today's disaster has been a great tragedy. However, it was not entirely unexpected. Accidents in mining are numerous. Our investigation 4 years ago explored many of the accidents which occur in our regional mines.
Here are the top 6 dangers that could happen in South Staffordshire mines. At number 6. When the miner is going down to the shaft where they are going to work, something might fall upon them. At number 5. A miner may be drowned from flooding water breakings in over old mine workings. At number 4. The men employed in undercutting a mass of coal may be crushed by it unexpectedly falling upon them. At number 3. The chain may break on the lift mechanism and the miners may fall to their deaths. At number 2. A miner can be suffocated by carbonic acid gas. And finally, at number 1. The most dangerous accident is an explosion caused by carbureted hydrogen gas.
We need to protect our miners. They are doing a very dangerous job, but we need to keep them as safe as possible.
That is very interesting. We will finish this breaking news programme with a stunning poem by Ruby, Esme and Atif.
Ghostly gas, drifting past, searching for fire, searching for prey, filling the cracks with my poisonous venom.
Ghostly gas, whispering, searching for freedom, searching for space. I will grab your struggling souls, draining any essence of life left in your body.
Ghostly gas, ready to pounce, searching for lives, searching for my chance to take over. I want to rule these minds, I want to do this alone. Ghostly gas, sparks fly, I'm taking over. Freedom at last.
What a moving poem. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to Merridale Daily. See you tomorrow.